deaf? Don't try that Halloween shit with me.
Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are on a Friday night, and we are ready to rock. For all of you guys that are here, welcome, welcome. We're going to have some fun tonight, as we usually do, doing a couple of discussion topics, some games, and so forth. And I can't do it alone. And I'm really, really happy to bring on my special guest who's returning here to the NIGHTWATCH Zone. And he's had a heck of a week, busy, busy, busy as always, but he's here to hang out with us tonight. So I'm going to bring him on right now. You guys know him. You guys love him. It's Mr. Cody Leach. Hey. All right. Very cool to have you here, man. Man, look, seriously, and we were just saying it backstage, but you've had a hell of a week. Anyone that follows you on social media, which, by the way, if you guys do not follow Cody, make sure you do that. I know my mods in the chat will be putting the links in. But man, you've been all over the place. So
yeah, it's been a lot. I went to New Orleans for the first time, spent 4.5 or so days at a film festival, drove 9.5 hours home, went right back into work mode. And this is once I get done with the live stream and then whatever coverage I decide to do for this Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's a cheap remake. Once I get done with that, I'm gonna try to exhale and just lay like this on the bed for like 3 days.
Right. Well, hey, it's funny, and I didn't plan this, but I mean that's the life of a YouTuber, and especially you being a full-time YouTuber. It's just like you're kind of always in forward motion, so to speak. And I mean, seriously, that's commendable. I just, knowing the weight of trying to do content and being there for your community and your viewers, I'm just telling you, man, hats off to you. Seriously, no doubt about that. Yeah. And real quick, before we get going, we do have the folks that are here, a blanket hello to all of you guys. We can't say hello to everyone, but just to say a few quick shout outs to Dawson. We got the queen herself. Sarah is in the chat, one of our mods and a great friend, and who also spends time with us here on Friday nights on live streams, and she's hang out in the chat and helping us out there. So thank you so much, Sarah. We really appreciate that. She's got Cody's links. Wow, Sarah, you're quick. She's got Cody's channel, his Twitter, his Instagram, his Patreon.
Where's the OnlyFans link?
That's going to be next.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Yes, thank you.
Man. Val, thank you for being here too. Reminding people to hit that like. You guys know how it goes. Jen's here as well. Man, we got the whole mod squad up in here. You guys are all right. Our good friend Bye-Bye Polar saying happy Friday all. Cody Leach and Night. Great way to start the weekend. Well, thank you. That's how I feel too. I'm like, this is a great way to start my weekend. Evan, what's going on? Good to see you. Melissa's in the chat. Let's see, who else do we have here? Jonathan is in the chat. Good to see you, Jonathan. Hope you're doing well. Paul is here. Wow, a lot of you guys. Hope you guys enjoy this. So, Cody, let's start off here, man. I mean, obviously, you talk about all the movies under the sun on your channel, but for those who maybe haven't caught all of your thoughts on these movies and so forth, how about we start with talking about something that I know that our viewers here are especially excited about, and that's the whole news on Scream 7
Mhm.
moving forward. We know that Kevin Williamson is going to be directing, which to me was absolutely crazy.
Mhm.
And Nev Campbell returning. What were your thoughts, and or what are your thoughts on that and the possibility of what this movie might be?
It's so complicated, man. Because like, I really enjoyed Scream 5 and most of Scream 6. It fell apart in the 3rd act for me, but I still enjoyed it overall. But I'm invested in these new characters. I'm invested in Melissa Barrera and in Jenna Ortega and everything. I'm somebody that, I really like the Scream series, but I feel like everything that there has been to do with the original 3 characters has been done and has been done to
Mhm,
death. Like, love them to death, but,
mhm,
I just don't know what else there is to do with Nev Campbell and Courtney Cox, and then I would have said David Arquette, but, they did
right.
something with him. But,
Yeah, they did.
that was the things that I enjoyed about Scream 5 and 6 was I thought it was a really nice little passing of the torch, and if
Mhm,
for as much as everybody got really up in arms about kind of the whole pay dispute aspect of it, I didn't feel like Scream 6 had this giant, like, Nev Campbell-sized hole in its heart. I thought it survived just fine. I honestly felt like Courtney Cox didn't even need to be there. Uh,
right.
so it was a big bummer that everything happened the way that it did, of course, but even just, without getting into the drama of why, it's a bummer that they're not carrying on with those characters that we've been introduced to, and to me, their arcs are very much still open. I don't find Scream 6 to be a satisfying ending if that's in fact gonna be the ending for those characters. So,
Mm,
with all that being said, um, it should be really exciting for me that Neve Campbell is coming back to lead the film, and Kevin Williamson, who is essentially the creator of this property, is now taking the director's chair. That should be really cool news,
mhm.
but it couldn't help but be read through the filter of desperation. Like,
Yeah,
what the hell else can they do? You know what I mean? Like, they're backed into a corner because of what happened and because of how the fans have responded to it. They lost their previous director, and so now they kinda have to do things like this, and I don't even know, maybe when we get the film, it's gonna be awesome. I hope it
right.
is, but I can't help but feel like this was never the plan, and now they're just trying to do damage control and doing the only thing that they can, and whether or not that's gonna translate to a story that's actually got some passion behind it, the return of Sydney and, whatever
Mhm,
else they have, time will tell. And as cool as it is, and kind of poetic that it is that Kevin Williamson has taken over the director's chair, I find it extremely strange that he's not
mhm.
writing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a really almost a red flag to me because
Mhm.
he's only done 1 movie, I believe, as a director, Teaching Mrs.
Teaching
Tingle.
Mrs. Tingle.
I
Yep.
saw it when I was a kid. I don't remember anything about it, but I've never really
Mhm,
heard much good about it. So it's not like
mhm,
he's this badass director that's suddenly coming in, or it's like a big sign of trust. It kind of is a bit of it's a bit of a left field choice just because he's a big name that's attached to the franchise. But if he was
yeah.
writing and directing, I'd be fully on board. But directing and not writing just feels so opposite of what you would normally use Kevin Williamson's talents for.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that, well, first of all, when I heard that he was directing, I was my first reaction was like, "What?" Like,
Mhm,
as so far as surprise and also kinda like, "Wait a minute, whoa," you know? And, I mean, I'm happy that he's going to be doing it, as far as
mhm,
how the situation is at this time, but I agree, I'd be so much more happy if he was writing it as well,
yeah,
because I think that the one thing for me about, and I've talked about this on this channel so many times, the thing about 5 and 6 for me, I enjoyed them, but I do think that there were moments where the character development was kinda unbalanced, you know what
mm,
I'm saying? Especially in 5. Now part of that is because you had so many characters, you had all these new characters, you're focusing on Sam, you're bringing back the OG3, and it just seemed like it was really unbalanced, and it didn't have that same cohesion that it felt like they had in the Wes Craven films, I mean,
gotcha.
it's not to compare Radio Silence to Wes because that's not fair, but I'm just saying, I just think that if Kevin was coming back on to write and direct, I'd feel even more, um, confident, and I'm curious and I'm optimistic, curiously, you know, but cautiously, I should say optimistic, but it's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out, because I also wanted to see where these characters in 6 were going to go.
Mhm.
And I thought that Melissa Barrera was great in
I do
6.
too. I really liked her, and she's even
Yeah.
better in Abigail, so I think she's only gonna get better as she goes along. She's gonna have a great
Mhm.
career even without Scream, or, if maybe when it transfers to a different company that's not Spyglass, maybe they'll bring her character back, but yeah, I
Mm.
really like what they did with her.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she was just awesome in 6. I really, really enjoyed her character. So when I heard about what happened, I was pretty saddened by it. I really, really was.
Mhm.
Cool. Now real quick too in the chat, just to catch up to some of these guys, because they are working hard, man. Our good friend Julie saying, Cody, just want to say that your Madam Web review had me crying laughing at the ADR part. Yeah.
My work here is done.
Yeah.
If that movie has to exist for me to just get a laugh out of it, then I guess it's all worth it.
It's true, man. It's true. It was really, really cool. Uh, and Sarah says I was gonna put the Twitch link too, but I didn't know if you streamed.
I
That's
used
funny.
to be on Twitch, until I created my gaming channel on YouTube, and then if I ever live stream, I only do it on there. I could never figure out Twitch, the lingo, and just it's so opposite
Yeah,
of YouTube that I was trying to force it into being YouTube, and it just didn't work. So I haven't been active
yeah,
on Twitch in probably a year and a half or more.
yeah. I never got into I never got
Mhm.
into Twitch either. Let's see. Our good friend Wayne is in the chat all the way from over in Australia, saying Cody Leach loved Saw X and Gran Turismo last year. AKA as Knight would say, Cody is all right. Two fun and great movies. Yeah, Saw X, man. What a surprise that was. And now we know that Saw 11 is going to be delayed for a year.
Mhm.
Wow.
I was
I mean,
comforted by that. I was one of the few people that was like, "Oh, good. Okay, cool." Then I didn't
take
get the disappointment because everybody was like, "Hell yeah, Saw's back every October." But I was one
right.
of those people that, I only like about half of the Saw films. I think that
Mhm.
them cranking them out every year was certainly what led to the decline in quality for my money.
Yeah.
So Saw X being such a massive surprise, one of the
Mm,
biggest surprises probably since I've been on YouTube.
mm,
I really want them to learn the correct lessons of
yeah.
why Saw X had such a massive response, and why I think it's the only Saw film with a positive critic reception, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it
So
is.
them trying to figure out, okay, what did we do differently with Saw X? Oh, we took our time and told a story. Cool. We need an extra year.
Mhm.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. I mean, my overall, I'm happy because it means that they can take their time. And I
Yeah.
understand that and I appreciate that. There was the fan inside of me that I'd already seen visions of seeing it in the theater in October
Yeah.
and just having a lot of great stuff. And there still is good stuff near the end of the year, but I do want them to take their time. Now, what do you think was the key to what made X or Saw 10 so good? What's the lesson that they should take from that and put into Saw 11?
Well, it sounds ridiculous that this had to be a lesson for them to learn, but
Right.
make your main character the main character.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
it just seemed crazy that it took us 10 films to get a movie that's actually
Right?
focused on John Kramer and treats him
Right?
as the lead character of the franchise, which he's always been. And it in an odd way, they found a really creative way to make us despise the people that he's torturing so much that he somehow seemed like the good guy, even though there's
Mhm.
nothing good about what he is or what he stands for.
Right,
And they
right.
found some interesting ways to actually merit telling a story in that timeline, because that
Yeah,
was one of the main things I was skeptical about. I'm like, what the hell are you going to tell us that we didn't already know? And
right.
the way that they set up some of the relationship turmoil that's brewing between him and Amanda gives a lot of extra context for why she has such a heel turn in 3, and
Mm,
I'm invested in all of that. So, yeah, I think
mhm.
they need to figure out what more they can do with the character that hasn't already been done to death, and I think they did that with
Right.
X, and hopefully they do that with 11.
Yeah, I agree, man. Anytime you can have, because I'm a fan of the franchise, when I was younger, obviously much younger, I was going to the theater, to check it out every year with a group of friends, and that kind of became a thing we did. But Tobin Bell, in my opinion, I just think that he's got a legendary status as far as this character and
Mhm.
its longevity. And you're right, we finally got him front and center. I mean, the only movie that he had, you know, a lot of screen time was really 2, you know,
Yeah.
because he was there with Donnie Wahlberg, and that was some of the best parts of 2, most of the best parts of 2. So I definitely think they should, again, lean into Tobin Bell, lean more into Shawnee Smith and their relationship. And obviously, you know, we saw the stinger at the end with Costas, and for me, that's a good thing too, because it's, you know, there's room, you know, there's room for a good story if they can figure it out and execute it correctly. So I totally agree with you. Um, and I hope that they do. I truly do, because I think that now with X being so well received, it seems like there's almost like this new level of, you know, a little bit more respect for the Saw movies, where I think it had really lost that with the last three or four entries, you know. So hopefully they figure it out, man. Hopefully they figure it out.
Hopefully.
Yeah, well, hey, I believe anything's possible, because like you said, you know, as much as I was going to see the movie and I love the franchise, I was like, man, what are they going to do with this? I had
Yep.
not that I didn't have any confidence, but I had low to mid confidence.
I had no confidence. I'm not afraid to say it. I loved the fact that I ate my words when I walked into that theater. I was like, I was wrong, and I'm so happy I was wrong.
Right. Oh my God. Yes, absolutely. And also too in the chat, and we got Evil Alex saying happy Friday. What's going on, Alex? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And Ryan's in the chat, and I won't be able to get to everyone's comment. I'm going to try to get to as many as I can, so you guys will have to forgive us, especially once we get going with our games. But Ryan is saying, and this is a great question, are you excited for Alien Romulus?
Oh yeah, that's probably in my top 3 most anticipated films for the rest of the year. I really love the first 2 films, Aliens primarily, but it's been a franchise that I've just been like, I was not a fan of Prometheus and Alien Covenant, so I've been one of those guys like, can we just capture what was great about the first 2? What is so difficult about this? And then getting somebody like Fede Alvarez, who for me has done no wrong so far, and there's that teaser, one of the best teasers I've seen in such a long time. It seemed like old school movie marketing, where it's just like, here's the tone, here's a little bit of what you can expect, now get your ass to the theater. That's all you get to see. And I was like, that's what it should be. And so I really liked what they saw. I heard good things off of the little bit of footage they showed from CinemaCon over the last couple of days. So I have full confidence that this thing is going to be a giant shot in the arm for that franchise, that it's needed for a couple of decades.
Right. And you know, what kind of irony is that? Because Prey kind of did that for the Predator franchise, you know, coming out of left field, and you know, we really enjoyed Prey. And if this movie, which by all accounts, and you're right, Fede is just amazing. He's such a great director. I love his style, I love his vision and so forth. And that teaser was badass. Like that's I agree with you. I wish that they could do teasers like that, and even with a quote unquote full trailer, you know, kind of have the vibe of a teaser, but it's just a bit longer. You know, you can give us a few little glimpses, but nothing big, no spoilers. You know, I don't want to know everything, you know, and unfortunately we live in a time where everything is put out there on social media and the internet. And of course, any of us that do YouTube, we you know, it's kind of part of our job to find out stuff, and it's right there, like staring at you in the face. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but it looks cool. Thank you for that question, man. We really appreciate that. That was a good one. Chrissy's in the chat saying Cody is the first horror YouTuber I got into.
Gateway drug.
There you go. Hey Nathaniel, good to see you. We got RJ in the chat as well. All right. And our good friend May Ann. Hey, what's going on? Hope you're doing well, May. Pepe's in the chat. Good to see you. All right. And we also have Ben. All right. Good to see you, man. Big movie fan himself, saying I remember hearing of Teaching Miss Tingle when I was coming out, and then I never heard anything again. I don't remember it either. I saw it, you know, when it first came out, and I don't really remember too much about it at all. One of these days I'm going to revisit it and then get a sense of, am I going to be more worried or more happy about Kevin? I do want to say this though, but to circle back to Scream, I do think him being, the director, I do think that he can hopefully help guide the writing in a better angle, than a director that obviously doesn't do any writing. Like Christopher Landon,
Mhm.
he would have been doing kind of the same thing because he said that he was going to, have some input on the writing. And even Wes Craven did that, with the first
Yeah.
4 films. Sometimes he would, change things up, maneuver them a little bit differently because he was so skilled at telling stories.
Mhm.
So I do think that there's a chance that Kevin can help guide this thing.
Yeah, I'm sure he's
Hopefully.
gonna have input for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. What else do we have here? And Sarah, thank you so much. I'm glad that you're keeping track of that. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Some neat is in the chat. Good to have you here. Hope you're doing well. Saying I'm honestly happy that Saw 11 is delayed. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna give it a chance to really be much better. I think much better. Melissa saying Abigail looks so good. It really does. And I've heard so many great things.
Awesome. It's absolutely awesome.
Wow. That is awesome, man. I'm glad to hear it because there's a lot of great actors in that. It's like a
It's
great
got a
cast.
really nice cast, and every single one of them is a standout character too. They all get their moments, multiple moments that stand out, really good
Hmm.
humor. And even though they're all bad people, uh,
Hmm.
there's something about their personality that endears you to them where you're like, "Oh man, I know they suck, but hopefully they don't die because they're pretty
That's
fucking
right.
hilarious."
That's right.
Mhm,
Oh my gosh. Um, what about one more thing I want to do as far as movie talk, general movie talk. We have the trailer that came out for Maxine,
mhm.
and this being, the trilogy that we never thought we would get, or at least I never thought we were gonna get. What do you think about what you saw in that trailer, and what are you expecting from Maxine?
I mean, it really sold me on it. If I wasn't sold enough on it already, I love the '80s aesthetic, the energy to it. Seeing people like Kevin Bacon, I just love the fact that he keeps coming back to horror. He has never shied
Right.
away from the fact that that was his roots.
Yeah.
And I actually thought that it was cool that they kind of implement the Night Stalker storyline in there. I saw a lot of people negative on that, and to me, I thought that was cool. So I'm
Mhm.
really, really excited. That's been my number one anticipated movie for the year so far. Because yeah, like you. I walked into X still kind of having a rough relationship with A24 films, and I was like, "What is this?" I didn't know
Right.
the premise or anything, and I walked out
Mhm.
like, "That was awesome!" And then they had the little teaser for Pearl, and I'm like, "Oh my god, they already got another one coming! Yes!"
Right,
And I
right.
didn't like Pearl quite as much as X, but it still made like my top 10 or 15 of the year, so I liked it quite a bit. And
Mhm.
I think if Maxine is even just as good as Pearl was for me,
Yeah,
without a doubt, it's one of the best horror trilogies ever made, which just came out of nowhere.
agreed.
Brand new
Yeah.
IP and knocked out all 3 films within 3 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's a great point too because it's brand new. We had no clue what the hell was going on. You had
Mhm.
great casts in both movies, and in this third one looks like a great cast as well. And each movie is different.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy, and it works, and Mia
Mhm.
Goth obviously being the glue, but that is so crazy to think that these 3 movies all touch upon a certain, style or even subgenre, with Maxine being more like a giallo slasher, and
Mhm.
first of all, I'm all for it. I love giallos, but I'm like, "Wow, that's just so cool that Ty West was able to kind of have these different takes with this trilogy." I mean, that's just like I said, and you said it too, it could be the greatest trilogy ever,
Yeah.
it really could,
And what's
no
cool
doubt.
about it is if you have somebody that maybe didn't really get into one of the movies, there's no
Mhm.
reason to expect they won't some of the others. I was talking with somebody, I did a live stream a couple of days ago, and they're like, "Yeah, yeah, I didn't really get into X." And I was like, "Well, watch Pearl because X is doesn't have much in common with the style of Pearl. It's a totally different movie,
Right.
and it's gonna look like to be the same case with Maxine."
Right, right, absolutely. Yeah, we had, I think it was Jen, yeah, in the chat was saying, "I did not love X, but Pearl was amazing in my opinion." Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's cool too because everyone gets a chance to, because we all love different types of horror, or
Yeah.
we gravitate to certain subgenres, and, this trilogy looks like it's gonna give you a nice variety for sure.
Mhm.
Our good friend Sarah saying Covenant could have been awesome, but it really fell apart in the last half. Yes, it could have been awesome. I was so wanting to love it. God.
Yeah, I mean, just I'm still bitter that Neil Blomkamp had such a cool concept for a follow-up to Aliens, and it got
Yeah.
buried because Ridley Scott just wanted to do his own thing with it. And when you watch Prometheus and even Alien Covenant, it's, to me, it's clear it's like you didn't want to make an alien movie. You wanted to make a movie about like creators and life and creation and like, and that's cool,
Yeah.
that's interesting, but like it felt like artificially shoehorned into the alien universe. And even more
Right.
so in Alien Covenant, it felt like it was a compromise. Like he's going to continue with the Prometheus stuff, but we're going to do very surface level alien imagery to kind of give everybody what they want. And like the
Right.
classic saying says, when you try to please everybody, you end up pleasing nobody.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. And I think that, you know, Ridley is interesting to me, and I'm sure we'll probably talk about it a little bit later on too. But you know, he's interesting to me because he's great. I mean, he's cemented in my book, you know, as far as the films that I love from him. But at the same time, you know, there's that other side where you have that feeling that he's gonna do what he wants to do because he believes in himself, which he should, especially after the career he's had. But yeah, the movies seem like they were just pivoting away from what made Alien great, the mythology of Alien. And even though Covenant seemed to kind of, you know, go back into that familiar territory, it still had issues because it had to link up to Prometheus. So, you know, it's just too bad. It's absolutely too bad, but what can you do? Now our good thank you for that, Sarah. We appreciate that. Our good friend Bye Polar saying my favorite movie trailer is the Batman. Oh my god, Nirvana song hit. There you
That was
go.
a good one. That was a
It
good one.
was the first time I saw that, I was like, oh, that's Nirvana. What the heck? You know, I was like, oh man. I loved that movie. I truly did. I could not believe it. That was 3 hours that kind of just went by just like that. It's like, wow. Can't wait to see what they're gonna do with the next film. Cannot wait. Cannot
Yeah,
wait.
I'm eagerly anticipating that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Dan's in the chat. What's up, Mr. Dan? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We've got Gene in the chat. What's going on, Gene? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, Gene. Saying hello and how are you doing, Cody? Very cool to have you, Gene.
Tired, but I'm doing well.
He's on life support, man. You know, definitely appreciate him being here too. Jason, what's up, brother? Good to have you here too. Hope you're doing well. All right. So look, this is what we're going to do tonight, Cody. We're going to have some fun. Or at least that's what I think it's going to be. We're going to see how much fun you have with it. But we've got a couple of different games. We're calling this the Gauntlet. And you're our contestant. You're our inaugural contestant. And the hope is you know, down the line, we're going to have guests that we've invited on to do that. We're hoping down the line, maybe we can have a little tournament with each of you together down in the future. So what we're going to do, I'm going to bring up our good old special wheel. We've got a couple of different options for games, and we have one specific game down the road that we're definitely going to jump into. But let me just bring this up here. Okay, so this is what we got. All right. We've got the ranker. We've got this or that. We've got upcoming movies. We've got blurred lines. And we've got chat attack. Okay.
All right.
So he's probably like, what the hell is that? And listen, we're just going to have fun with this. And you guys in the chat, you guys can obviously play along. There'll be a couple of times when we hope to get some real good interaction with you guys as well. And also just want to say real quick, our good friend Mayanne has a channel member anniversary, 11 months helping out this community here and also being one of our moderators. Thank you so much, Mayanne. We appreciate you so much. Much love to you. saying, love this awesome community and absolutely love you, Night and Coriander. Can't type, but I got my headphones on and peepers on the screen. Hi, Cody. All right. Thank you, man. You're so cute. Very, very cool. Okay, so let's spin this wheel and let's see what we land on. All right. Okay. Okay. We've got a game that I like to call blurred lines. Okay. So what we're going to do is I have images or one particular image from a movie, and we're going to see if you can guess what movie it is.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah, it is. It is. And we've actually done this one on the channel before and had a lot of fun with it. So we're going to see it's some of the people that are here tonight, they actually might remember this one. And we've had some good laughs from it. All right. So let me pull this up here. Blurred lines, here we go. Hopefully. As long as the technology works, that's always the big question. Will it work or will it not work?
Lord willing.
All right. That's right. Okay. All right. So here is our first movie. You guys in the chat, you guys could take a stab at these as well. And while you look at that, and if you can guess it, be my guess and guess it. If you can't, we're going to go to another image that's a little bit less blurry. Okay. And we're going to go less blurry until you can see the image. And hopefully you'll know the movie. But if you don't, we'll be able to tell you.
All right. So am I just supposed to wait until I'm positive, or can I guess all along the way?
You can guess whenever you want. And if you can't guess from this, I'll go to the next image, which will clear it up a little bit.
I can't make out much, but that little bit of light blue there makes me think of that picture of Laurie Strode holding the knife on the couch in Halloween. So that's going to be my guess for now, but I'm not confident whatsoever.
Okay, well, that's an interesting guess, my friend. Now, let me just take you to the next picture and see what you think. Okay, that is our next picture.
Doesn't even look like it moved. What is this? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell anything different from this one, so I'll have to keep moving on.
Okay.
Escape from New York.
Okay.
Way off, but I was in the ballpark with Carpenter. I got to get points for that.
You should. When you know, it's funny though, and this is a game that's funny because people, when they see certain things and it looks like a certain thing, it almost makes you believe it. Like I was looking at that, like, oh, wait a minute, maybe he's right.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, for some reason that light blue, I just thought about that picture where she's got the cut and the little cuff is off to the side, and that iconic picture. That for whatever reason my mind stuck on that, but it was just Carpenter. My brain was having trouble discerning that.
Yeah, no, I was looking at it. I was like, well, wait a minute, am I wrong? No. All right, so that's Escape from New York. And real quick too in the chat, let's see. We got some other people jumping in, including some good friends. My good friend Steven from Craven Something Scary, my brother. What's up, man? How you doing? Hey, family. My dear sweetheart, Coriander's in the chat. She's like, please hit the like button. You're all right, girl. You're all right. All right. Let's see. I saw a couple of people jumping here too. Hello to everyone that's jumping in. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Antonis thought it was The Bride of Chucky. Looks like Evan knew it was Escape from New York. All right. Yeah, it is a point for a John Carpenter film. The remake is in development hell. Yeah, right? Yeah,
it's such a bummer because I was at the premiere of Abigail, and Radio Silence are the people that have been tied to this Escape from New York follow-up since the end of 2022. And so we were told we were going to get a chance to interview them before the film. They ended up being so stuck in traffic and being so late that we only had time to answer one question. So I kept it relevant to Abigail, but I was trying to pick my moment in the Q&A afterwards because I didn't want to be that douchebag. It's like, yeah, great job on this movie, but the next thing you're going to do. So I was trying to wait to be the last question. That way it was kind of a nice transition to where I even had it rehearsed in my head. If they picked me, I was going to be like, absolutely loved Abigail. So excited to see what you guys do next. And on that note, what's the update with Escape from New York? And so I had my phone ready and I tried to time it. And then unfortunately, because they neglected the right side of the room so much, they literally just pivoted totally away from me for the last 2 questions. And I was like, no, I can go viral for this.
I like that. That's awesome.
Nobody asked the question, so I have no idea what the hell's going on. But they would be the guys to do it. If it's not radio silence, my pick would have been Lee Winnell. I think he would have done an awesome job with it, with his style of upgrade. But I'm very curious. If anybody does anything with it, I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm curious too. Lee Winnell definitely could be very good with it. I like his style, definitely. Yeah. Are you a big fan of the original?
I do like it quite a bit. I wouldn't say I'm like a huge fan. I didn't grow up with it. I actually like way later in life got introduced to it. I watched Escape from LA in the theaters when I was a kid, and that was my introduction to it. And so I think that was the reason why I didn't go find the other one until much later.
Right.
But yeah, by the time I get around to my John Carpenter ranking, it's definitely going to be in the top, 6 or 7. For his non-horror movies, that and They Live are probably the favorites for me.
Yeah, They Live is amazing. I love that movie so much. Rest in peace to Roddy Piper. Yeah, that's a good one. Laserborn said, for some reason, I thought it was Eden Lake. Ooh, I didn't see that. Oh, you haven't seen Eden Lake? Oh, wow. Well, let me just say this to you. It is a movie, I think, that is so well done. And it's also so intense. Like, it's the type of movie that you can't watch all the time. You really go through the ringer with this film. It has one of the endings that you're just going to be like, what? But it's a really good film. It's I think it's one of Michael Fassbender's earlier films.
Is that the one with Beth Dutton in it?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good. I'll put it on the list then.
Yeah, definitely. And if you get a chance, well, I'm sure you'll maybe talk about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. It's definitely a good one, I think. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to our next image and see what we got. We're going to start right there.
Wow. I'm going to guess Sinister. I'm getting a Bagul vibe from the shadow, like the hair.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, let's go to our next image of it. There's our next one.
I was wrong. What the hell is on this person's nose? It's obviously a face, and it looks like there's a bandage or something on the nose, but I can't think of a distinct image. I'm gonna have to go to the next one. I can't think of anything.
Okay, our next one.
Black phone.
Hey, once again, you're right in the ballpark, though.
I am, man. For some reason, I get the director and
Todd Derrickson. Like, that's crazy, man. And I did not set this up knowing how you would do this. You had no clue what the hell you were going to be doing here tonight.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Let's see if I can go another one.
Wow, that's great. That's awesome. I got to turn that into a clip. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
Mayanne, thank you so much. Mayanne in the chat just gifted a channel membership. Thank you so much for doing that, Mayanne. That's very kind of you. Very, very much so. It looks like it went to Wayne, our good friend Wayne, back in the fold, all the way in Australia. Thank you so much, Mayanne. Very kind of you.
Snatching it up, Wayne.
Yeah. Yes. Let's go to our next one. Let's see if we do some more director stuff here. Okay, there's our first image of it.
Oh wow. Okay, well, this is clearly 2 faces.
Sarah knew it was the black phone. Awesome.
This one's got me puzzled. Are these all horror adjacent movies, or are these just anything?
I would say horror adjacent, because Escape from New York is kind of, yeah.
I'm going to guess Joker for now, just because of the whiteness, but not confident.
Okay, Joker.
And if
That's
it ends up
interesting.
being old school or road trip, it's hilarious.
I know, right? There's our next image. These guys in the chat, they knew what was going on. They were like, Black Phone, The Grabber. Wow, you guys are good. You got some Misery, The Craft. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still puzzled on this one.
Okay, we'll go to our next one. There's that.
What the hell is this? This must be a movie I haven't seen because I am not ringing any bells.
And don't feel bad. We got a variety of guesses in the live chat as well.
Yeah. I don't know. The Suspiria remake, maybe?
Oh, that's an interesting guess. Okay, let's go here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know what this is.
Okay. Anyone in the chat? And I know one person for sure that I know exactly knows what this is. And she's not that far away from where I'm sitting. Okay, here we go with the Jen's like, nope. You don't know? RJ says Scream. It is definitely not Scream.
No. I've never seen this movie.
No. All right, well, next will give us the answer. It is Carrie.
Oh, okay. Well, I lied. I have seen this movie, but it's been a very, very long time. So this is the plug it up scene.
That's right. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
It is.
Yeah, Carrie's one of those Stephen King classics that I watched when I was a kid and I never really rewatched, which is weird because so many of my favorites of all time are things like Misery, Pet Sematary, Shining, all these Stephen King classics. But for whatever reason, Carrie never really did much for me.
Well, I'm definitely a fan of it. And I think that, like, for me, those older films, like the ones you just said, especially like The Shining or even the earlier films. Well, I guess Pet Sematary was 89, so but you get what I'm saying. I love the old films because they always seem to have like a little bit more of a grittiness to them.
Yeah.
The actors and the actresses, they don't seem, this sounds weird. I don't mean this make this sound negative, but they don't seem as artificial. Like they seem like people that I could walk down the street and see.
No, you're 100% right. You can even just talk specifically about Pet Sematary compared to the remake. Like everything that's odd and off kilter and strange, and just the personalities and that eerie weirdness about even just the mundane details. When they cleaned all that up for the remake and made them very normal, professionally acted performances, it's like it took away everything that was impactful.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just something about those older films, even the older films that aren't necessarily great, or maybe they're not like super well made. Maybe they didn't have a huge budget or whatever, but sometimes you can see the heart and soul of what was there and it still resonates, and that's why I'm such a huge fan of that time period, like the mid 70s to like the mid 90s, of course. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, so that's probably part of it too, but
there's definitely a gritty detail that's lost today. They have to like artificially put it in with filters if they want to capture it the same way.
And
then you can tell it's a filter. You're like, I know that camera didn't look like this. Liars.
That's right. Now speaking of, and hey to Denisha, she's in the chat too. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Speaking of how they try to fool us a little bit, and of course, again, our viewers here are big fans of the Halloween franchise. When we talk about Halloween Kills, to me, that recreation scene, that 78 recreation scene, I thought was really well done.
Me too.
Okay, that's what I was going to get to, because
that's part of the movie, in my opinion.
It was such a highlight because it almost felt like 78. It almost felt like that. When I first saw them go into it, I was kind of like, well, wait a minute. Because I know the original movie so well. I'm like, this isn't deleted scenes. They're recreating it. And I thought it was so well done. And as a matter of fact, and I'm sure we might get into that a little bit later if we get a chance, but it was well done. I was impressed. I really, really was.
Me too.
Henry, welcome to the chat, saying love the gritty 70s films, grindhouse type films. Same here. Welcome, welcome. And by the way, just to remind folks, if you have not, and I'm sure you have, but if you have not subscribed to Cody, make sure you do that. We've had the links in the chat for his YouTube, his Twitter, his OnlyFans, no, I'm joking, his Instagram. So make sure you guys do that, and let's make that happen, guys. Let's make that happen. Okay, our next image. Let's see what we got. Ooh. It's not coming up. I wonder why. Let's see. Let me change the look here. Oh, maybe it won't let me. Let's see. There we go. All right. That is our next image that is blurred out.
Friday the 13th remake.
Let's take another look.
Damn. Okay. I can tell it was somebody doing this. I was like, it's either somebody's about to get fucked up or it's Jason about ready to throw that axe. I can't tell.
Oh, you're right. That one scene. Yeah, actually that's a good guess, man.
Okay. This looks like Saw 2.
Oh boy. There we go. You got it. Awesome. Awesome job. Yep. I love that scene.
One of the dumbest deaths in the entire franchise.
I know, bro. I was like, what are you doing, man? Like, oh my God. Yeah, it was a dumb one. Pretty gross too, man. Let's see. Gene saying, I am a new subscriber to your channel. Hey,
welcome.
Well, awesome. Thank you very much. Let's see. Our next image to throw up. I think we've got one or two more here.
Alrighty.
This is our next one.
Ooh. Return of the Living Dead?
Oh, that's an interesting guess. Let's see.
I don't know who the hell this guy is. I was stuck on the red hair over here. It looked like Linnea Quigley's character for a second. And I was like, maybe is that a scene? I can't remember.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't recognize this dude at all. Escape Room? Is that what it is? Yeah, okay.
It is.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
There we go.
And Antona said Scream.
That was a
6.
decent movie. I only watched it once, but it was decent.
It was. It really was, man. It surprised the hell out of me because it's an example of a movie. And Sarah, you were right about it. It was an example of a movie. I saw the trailer for it, and I was kind of like, "What? Come on, man!" And I just didn't have a lot of faith in it. And one night, we got the kids together. We said, "Hey, let's watch this movie, Escape Room," and I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all for, I think it came out in either January or February. So everybody walked in expecting it to be what you expect in January, February. And I was like, actually, like a 3-star little movie. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. Really, it wasn't. I didn't see the sequel, but
neither did I.
I almost don't want to see it because I don't want to.
I heard that was the movie you expect the first one to be.
Right. Oh my God. And I forgot her name.
Deborah Ann Woll.
Yes. And I can't wait to see what they're going to do with Daredevil, because supposedly Karen and Foggy are going to be back now.
Yeah, that was such a weird thing where they announced that they're going to bring it back to get everybody excited. And they're like, oh, by the way, none of the same characters are going to be in it. It's not really a continuation. We're just kind of like cheaply borrowing all of your love for it and doing something different. And then they just completely axed whatever they shot. And they're like, never mind, we're going to do it right this time. And so I'm glad they at least pumped the brakes and caught themselves, because that would have been a disaster for as much as people have been losing faith in Marvel and Disney Plus properties and stuff. If they had botched Daredevil, that would have been the final straw for so many people.
Yeah, I know. And I love Charlie Cox as Daredevil. I think that's just, he's just so good in the role. And I mean, yeah, I read the comics and I was never a huge Daredevil fan per se, but when I saw the show on Netflix, I was hooked. I was like, man, this is an awesome show. It's so, just gritty and dirty and grimy, and the fight scenes were absolutely on point, and the mythology and Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin. Yeah. Wow. That's all I got to say is wow.
I'm with you.
Yes, indeed. Sarah saying, I was like, oh, it's the guy that looks like Kyle Gallner and the girl from True Blood, Escape Room. There you go. There you go. Nice. Blank Name saying Punisher, I think, was my favorite out of those Netflix Marvel shows. Punisher was pretty good. Yeah. I like John Barenthal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Let's go one more. We got one more.
All right. One more chance to nail it right out of the gate. And
well, you're doing really good, man.
3 people. What is this? Last House on the Left, maybe. Trying to think of a shot with just like 3 people looking downward at somebody.
Yeah, that is a shot in the movie. I never even thought of that from that. Wow. Let's go here.
Okay, these are women. The Craft, maybe.
Ooh, that's an interesting guess. I think I saw that in the chat a little whiles ago.
Somebody else is picking up what I'm. Oh God, they're not 3 women. Final Destination.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, Devin. From the silhouette, it looked like long hair, and then nope,
it did. T. Barker guessed it too. Yeah, that was when you said it was 3 women. I was like, well, I guess it could be.
Yeah,
kind of. Well, it would kind of look like it. There's no doubt. Awesome stuff, man. All right, so that was the last one for Blurred Lines. Good job, man. You did really well, to be honest with you. Like, we've had some people in live chats when we've done this, and they're just like, I just can't guess, and I gotta admit, even to myself, obviously I get the pictures together, but when I look at them, I'm kind of like, wow, this is really friggin' tough.
Well, it's weird how your brain like just tries to like piece together details and shadows, and you're like, I think it's this, and then as soon as you take a little bit of it away, you're like, oh no, totally wrong, and then your brain like starts to recircuit.
Yes, absolutely, no doubt at all about it. No doubt at all.
Good
okay, let's bring the wheel back up to see what we got next on the list here. That was fun. Okay, all right. So this is what we have left to go through, and we have one surprise as well, so we'll see what we get. But we've got Chat Attack, upcoming movies, this or that, and the ranker. So we're going to spin this wheel, see what we get.
You can do with this, so you can do with that.
Yes. All right, this or that. Okay, so with this one, is just basically, what are you going to pick? One or the other. And that's all that it is. And I'm sure we'll probably have some interesting discussion. You guys in the chat, you guys can continue to let us know what you think in the live chat. Okay, so let's go with our first one here. Our first one is going to be John Wick 3 or The Bourne Ultimatum.
I'm going to go with Bourne Ultimatum on this one. I love the John Wick movies, but 3 is my least favorite of the 4. It's got awesome action in it, but that's the first one where it felt like things were just going too far with the story, like with the double, triple crosses and him jumping, like falling off of a building and landing in a car and just getting up like, oh, I'm good. That was the first time where it was like, I don't know, guys, you're pushing it for me. So Bourne Ultimatum. Yeah. I'm actually I'm on a bit of an island that I'd say about 6 out of 10 times, if you ask me, that's my favorite of the Bourne films. It's got the best fight scene. I love the train or the subway sequence where he's trying to guide that guy out of harm's way through the earpiece. I like the way that it wraps up. It doesn't wrap up with like this traditional like Bourne just takes everybody out. He just gets some information and prevents one little thing. And so I'm a big fan of that one. So I'm going Bourne.
All right. For me, it's really tough, man, because and I remember hearing your thoughts on Wick 3, and I was kind of like, yeah, you're making great points. But I loved it so much, man. The scene on the horse and just the way that it was shot, and seeing it in the theater, and I know you know this. It just felt like you were immersed in this world of Wick, and the fights. His fight against Zero. I was like, oh my god, and I'm a big martial arts fan, so Mark Dacascos, seeing him doing some martial arts again. That was really cool. So it's tough, but I will have to say ultimately, pun intended, because of a lot of what you just said. I think to me, I'd probably say 9 out of 10 times, I would say that's my favorite of the Bourne films, because there were just so many great moments in it. I mean, I love the whole franchise. I even, every once in a while, watch the Jeremy Renner one, man. It's absolutely crazy. I know a lot of people aren't big fans of that, but I think just that world and how they do things, I'm just so intrigued by. But Ultimatum is one of my favorites. So no
Halle
doubt.
Berry is never going to forgive us.
She won't, and she was so good in Wick, man. I couldn't believe how good she was. I mean, she got injured, with the training, because she was trying to, do as much as she could, and she was inspired by Keanu Reeves and the stunt team. And much respect to Halle Berry, because she looked fantastic doing those scenes. Those fight scenes were crazy. All right. Next one. Let's see what we've got next. James Bond or Indiana Jones?
This one should be difficult, but I'm also going to go Indiana Jones pretty easily. I grew up with the Indiana Jones films, and James Bond, I have only seen the Daniel Craig and the Pierce Brosnan ones, with the exception of a couple of Connery ones. When No Time to Die was coming out, I made a pact with myself. I bought the Blu-ray set, and I said, I'm going to watch every single one of these Bond movies from the beginning, Dr. No, to now, and I'm going to do a big fat-ass ranking when the new movie comes out. And I'm not bullshitting when I say I got 3 movies in and just had to tap out. I was like, I'm sorry. It's beyond me. Like, I appreciate some of what they were going for, but just some of the stuff like in the Connery ones is just so old and so archaic, espionage action. And like, as soon as I got to Thunderball and the guy got onto the jetpack and went, and just went off screen, I was like, I'm out, because I knew I had like 10 Roger Moore films that I knew I was not going to be up for. So if I couldn't even stomach to watch the whole franchise, I have no reason to disrespect Indiana Jones by picking James Bond. But the Daniel Craig movies, 3 out of the 4 of them are pretty awesome, and I absolutely love GoldenEye. GoldenEye and Casino Royale are in my top, maybe 25, 30 action films of all time.
Wow, man. Let me just say something, because I don't get a chance, hopefully at some point I will. I don't get a chance to really talk about the Bond films much here. But me and my brother grew up on the Bond films, and I agree with everything you said about the old ones. Although for me, part of it is the nostalgia, because my mom and my dad were huge Connery fans and so forth. But GoldenEye, like if my brother was on here with me now, me and him could be talking about GoldenEye for like a couple of hours, because we love that movie so much, and it is still such a fantastic Bond film. But Casino Royale was fantastic as well.
Same director too.
Same director. So those are 2 super high points in the franchise for me. So hearing you say that is like, oh man, like one of these days I gotta like talk some Bond with you or something. That's awesome stuff.
There you go.
Very cool. In the chat though, we got some people throwing their opinions out. I'm going to jump to these guys too. Wayne was going to go with the Bourne Ultimatum, and Polar is a huge fan of Indiana Jones. She's got the heart right there. Very cool. Jose's in the chat. What's up, brother? Good to see you. All right. About to go and watch Civil War tonight. I'm hopefully going to check it out tomorrow. Yeah.
Interesting for sure.
That's what I've heard. Yeah. Paul is saying I like both, but James Bond. Anton is saying Indiana Jones for sure. All right.
As cool as Bond is, I mean, he's kind of the epitome of cool. I don't know a single person that grew up in my generation, and probably the same with your generation, that didn't want to be Indiana Jones for like such a chunk of their childhood. Where they want the hat. I remember going to Disney World when I was 6 years old, and I didn't get a hat, and I carried that with me until I was in my late 20s. And when I finally took my kids to Disney World, I made sure to buy my son a hat to like live through him.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That is so cool. I remember the first time I saw Raiders, and it just blew my mind as a movie. I'm a movie fan because of my parents, because they were movie fans. And when we watched Raiders of the Lost Ark, I'll never forget it. Me and my brother sitting on the floor in the living room, they're on the couch, and we're just like, what? And man, what a fantastic movie. And Indiana Jones as a character, iconic. Just so iconic, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, with the latest film, I remember seeing the trailer, and when they kind of play a little bit of the John Williams music, it got me a little choked up, man, because it was bringing me back to my childhood. But yeah, a fantastic character, no doubt at all. And guys, thank you so much. You guys are still putting the links in the chat. Thank you so much. And again, for you guys jumping in, if you have not subscribed to Cody's channel, make sure you do that. We've got his YouTube link, his Instagram link, his Twitter. Make sure you do it. Sarah speaking some gospel here, saying when it comes to action, I'm an Equalizer girl through and through. Yeah, Equalizer is a good series. Really
they're all solid.
Yeah, absolutely. And Polar's also got the Patreon link too. I forgot about that. Yeah, very cool. And Wayne, Alex Garland, the director for Civil War. I loved Ex Machina.
Me too.
Ex Machina was so much fun. So I'm really, and Men is a little bit of a different story, but I'm looking.
I was not a fan of that one, and it's one of those movies that's miserable to discuss, because it's either like people absolutely understand where you're coming from,
right,
or you get the people that are like, oh, sounds like something in this movie triggered something inside of you, and I'm like, what the fuck? Or I just didn't like it. I mean,
it was a beautiful film,
for sure.
Shot. I mean, he's good at that. But once we got, I don't even know, man, it might have been 50% in, I just started to be like, wait a minute. And that ending, it was almost like my eyes started to cross. I'm like, what the hell are we doing in this movie? It like took such a sharp left.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow. Oh man. Julie saying I wasn't really a big fan of Indy 5. Okay.
Neither was I. I tried to convince myself that I liked it more than I did, because I drove 4 hours to Atlanta and then 4 hours home to check it out at a press screening. Yeah. And it's right there with Crystal Skull for me, but the only difference is that Crystal Skull has many more memorable moments. It's got higher highs but much lower lows, where Indy 5 never really goes either way. It's just kind of flatline through most of it. Yep,
absolutely. And we also have some fans of Ex Machina in the chat. That's really cool. I haven't talked about that in a long time on this channel. Might have to do that. It's a fun one. It was a fun one. It's one of those movies, like when you watch it, I enjoyed it so much that I wish I could have that experience of watching it for the first time again. You know what I mean? And that's how much it really, hit me. It was just so well done. Just like really cool. Yeah. Okay. Let's go with another one here. Let's see. What do we got? Let me pull this up. Okay. Urban Legend or I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Now this one is tough for an odd reason. It's tough because I'm not really enamored with either one of them. I'm probably gonna go I Know What You Did Last Summer, just because I've watched it more often. Okay, but those are the two they're not really ripoffs of Scream, but they were capitalizing on that type of horror film. Urban Legend, I think I've only seen twice my entire life. When it first came out, and I remember the opening scene had Brad Dourif, and I was like, oh, and then he's only in the opening scene. So it's decent. But I Know What You Did Last Summer, I just remember watching a lot. It was always on like Stars or Cinemax or something. And it's solid. they're both solid. But I Know What You Did Last Summer probably just sticks in my mind a little bit more because I've seen it more often. And I am curious. They're supposed to be doing like a legacy sequel to it.
That's right.
I'm curious only if they get Freddie Prinze and Jennifer Love back for it. But I'd be curious to see what they can do with that in modern times.
Yeah, I'm really curious about what they're gonna. It's interesting because I mean, this is a time where these slasher films, they really have opportunity to do well as far as box office and so forth. And of course, with social media is really accentuating so much for movies, and it is the time to try it. But I don't. I like I Know What You Did Last Summer. There's some issues I do have with it. I prefer Urban Legend, to be honest with you, and part of that is probably the time that I saw it, plus the mythology of it and the whole idea of urban legends. And I grew up in a city, and we had some of those things that we used to talk about as kids and teenagers and stuff growing up. But I don't know what I don't know what they're going to be able to do with I Know What You Did Last Summer, because really the premise, and it's a good story, for a movie. The sequel, but I mean, like, how much more can you do with it is really my question. Whereas something like Scream, even though it gets a little ridiculous how we keep getting family or someone connected to someone, they're going after Sydney or whatever, but you can craft a story where Ghostface could continue to do whatever. Someone can be a Ghostface killer. And as a matter of fact, with 6, that was a great thing I loved about 6, is that they showed that there was a cult, people that were taking up the mantle, which opens up that world big time. So I don't know what to expect from I Know What You Did Last Summer. I'm kind of.
Neither do I. I wouldn't want to be in charge of writing that one.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I don't know, man. But Freddie Prinze and Jennifer Love Hewitt, it'd be nice to see them, just to have them around. So I'm curious. Let's just say that I'm curious. All right. So that was the last one of those. And just real quick in the chat, we got Drinking with Cats. I love that, Dave. That's great. Saying agreed on Urban Legend. All right. Very cool. Welcome to the chat. We appreciate you being here. Julie, our good friend Julie, saying, I love the I Know What You Did Last Summer book, but the movie is just okay to me. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that. That's kind of cool. I almost want to read the book. Let's see. And other people were going with I Know What You Did Last Summer and the choice between the two. Okay. But Wayne wasn't. Wayne said Urban Legend by far. Wow. All right.
To be fair, it's probably been 20 years since I've seen Urban Legend. So if I watched it tonight, I might have to, delete my previous answer. But just going off memory, I think that one stuck with me more. Yeah.
Polar saying Scream 40, angry librarian seeking Sid's overdue book. Yeah, okay. Oh, you never know. You never know. All right. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to the wheel.
Wheel of Doom.
Yeah, kinda. It's kinda like that. That's what I should call it. I should call it the Wheel of Doom. I gotta
Wheel of Misfortune.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. All right. Let's see what we got left. We got the chat attack, upcoming movies, and the ranker. Let's see what we got up next.
All right. Look into the future.
All right. Upcoming movies. There we go. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So, for the rest of this year, we've got some interesting movies coming up. What are some of the ones that you're looking to, forward to the most?
Well, we talked about Maxine a little earlier. One just below that one on my list would be Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Massive fan of the last 3 that they did, and this one looks like it's going to be really good. Yeah. So I'm really excited for that one.
Agreed.
Yeah, Alien Romulus is up there. The Fall Guy looks like a lot of fun, and I've heard it's fun from people that saw it at South by Southwest.
Yeah.
There's a number of movie. Well, the two big horror films from October have now left. It was Saw and it was The Wolfman, and now they're all moving to 2025. So I think the only other big horror movie that sticks in my mind for this year is Nosferatu, which comes out like in Christmas or something like that. That one's got my attention for sure.
Yeah, that's Robert Eggers, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm a huge fan of The Witch. The Lighthouse was interesting. Was definitely a journey. Not as much fun as the Witch, but I did like Willem Dafoe. His performance was crazy, batshit crazy. So, but I think he's a really good director. So I'm invested in checking out what he's going to do with Nosferatu. I really am. Awesome stuff. And hey, Jamie, good to see you. Hope you're doing well tonight. Welcome to the chat. We're just hanging out, doing a couple of little interactive games here. Wayne saying, have you seen Late Night with the Devil? Yes, we have. What were your thoughts of Late Night with the Devil?
Yeah, I got a full review, Wayne, if you want to check out like the longer form of this. But I thought it was really unique and interesting. I really appreciated how they kind of recaptured 70s talk show vibe with the film grain and the aspect ratios that they changed, and even kind of the way that Das Malchin's performance very much gives that on-air host vibe. So I liked it. I think it's worth checking out. It didn't fully come together for me by the end of it. I thought that whenever it went full CGI at the end, it looked more silly than interesting or scary. And I watched the movie twice before I reviewed it, because I was kind of tired when I watched it the first time. I didn't want to give the movie an unfair shake. And I don't know, the way that they decide to wrap things up with like the mass amount of different details that you get in that little 10-minute sequence there at the end. I don't know how it fully comes together for me. I guess it's answering questions that I wasn't really asking during the movie. It brings his character full circle in a certain way. And if you watch it a second time, there's a lot of things in the very beginning of the movie that hints at where things are going to be answered. But I had so many more questions about some things that happened in the middle that go unanswered that I was a little frustrated. No, I loved your thoughts on it. And Sarah also has the link in the chat for your review on it. I agree with a lot of what you said. I love the aesthetic. I loved how you felt immersed in that time period. And it reminded me of, every once in a while when I was a kid and I'd stay up too late and I'd check out some of the stuff that my mom was watching, which was late night, shows, late night talk shows. So that was kind of cool, brought me back. I think, David was great in the role. I didn't have as much problems with the end. And that might have been because I was just so wrapped up in the time period and just being so invested in, this late night talk show atmosphere, but it definitely was enjoyable for me. I watched it kind of late one night too. And so I watched it a second time as well. And it still held up. It was an interesting way to kind of do a found footage movie. Yeah.
Without it feeling like a found footage movie, if that makes any sense. So I give them a hell of a lot of credit for that. And I think it's a film. At some point I'm going to rewatch it, but I think it could be one of those types of films that I revisit every so often, just to kind of get away from, the normal, well, not really normal, but the regular horror that I watch, So
palate cleanser.
Yeah. Because it was just so crazy. Like even little things like the music, and I was just like, wow, this is so old school, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. All right. So this is what we're going to do. Because I know, you've had a long week and I do not want to keep you here too long. I don't want to overstep, but we have one more game to throw at you. And, we can see how far we get with this. Now, this is a game that I'm sure most people are going to be very familiar with. And hopefully you guys in the chat can have some fun with this as well. And let's bring it up. Okay. So this is our version of movie Jeopardy.
Okay.
Now, these are the categories that we have in case we have anyone that is listening instead of watching. We've got Name That Kill. We've got Franchise Fury. We've got Quotables. And we've got Movie Madness. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, and you guys in the chat, you guys can play along as well. Have some fun with this. Cody, Sarah's like, woo! And Sarah, by the way, let me just say also, Sarah did a fantastic job with this game just the other week on this channel, and helped me out immensely with the idea and also getting this together. So Sarah, once again, thank you so much for doing that. You guys, seriously, all you guys in this community, you guys are so supportive and always there to lend a hand. And it's so appreciated. You guys are seriously awesome. Seriously. Okay. So Cody, this is totally up to you. We're going to see how many points you can get. And this will actually be a point total that I'm going to keep track of. And when we have guests coming on, we're going to see where everyone ranks up. And like I said, hopefully at some point down the road, we can get some of you guys back together in a little bit of a tournament style, face-off style. So which category would you like to go with, and what's the point total that you'd want to go with?
Are we eventually going to be uncovering every one of these, or do I have a limited amount?
You put it this way, depending on how long it takes, we could uncover them all.
Okay.
But again, you know, we've been going for a little while here, so I don't want to keep you here too long. And whatever we don't finish, we can finish hopefully the next time with you if you'd like.
Okay. Well, let me start small just to get a taste for it. Let's do Name That Kill for 100.
Okay, Name That Kill for 100. Let's pull this up here. Okay, the time that Jason Voorhees, that is, had dead aim into an eye.
We're just naming the film?
Well, you can name the film, the kill, or both.
I believe it's Friday the 13th, Part 3 with the harpoon.
Ooh, okay, let's see.
Yeah, there we go.
Friday the 13th, Part 3 with poor Vera. Poor Vera. I loved that scene. That's one of my favorite kills, man. I'm telling you. Oh, I love it. I love it.
First time to see the mask, too.
Yes. Well, you know, that scene, and these guys are probably going to be like, oh, don't go on a rant night. But Friday the 13th is my favorite horror franchise. And Friday 3 was a big one for me growing up. And that scene when he gets the mask and he's kind of like walking down the dock and he's just kind of strutting. I love that scene so much. It's a favorite kill of mine. So
gotcha. It's a good one.
It is good. All right. And well, thank you, Ryan, saying a sweet layout. Hey, there you go. Wade said horror Jeopardy with your co-host Knight and Cody. Oh, that's great. These guys, they knew what was going on. Friday 13th. What is Friday 13th Part 3? I like that, Wayne.
My wife yells at me every time we watch Jeopardy. She's like, you got to say what it is. I'm like, I don't care. I just say the answer. She's like, you get no points.
Right. Oh, man. Okay. So what next? What next are we going to go with?
We'll go down the line on the 100 so I can see what all these are about. Let's do Franchise Fury.
Okay. Franchise Fury for 100. 11 films in space. False Promise. Based on a novel.
Which Hellraiser?
Well, let's find out. It is. Wow. All right.
When you say 11 films, it narrows it down. I'm like,
that's
which
true.
franchise is just miserably long?
That is true. Nice, man. All right. That was good. All right. How about next?
We'll do Quotables for 100.
Okay. For 100. I remember some horrible dream about smothering.
Oh, wow. You got me on this one. I remember some horrible dream about smothering. I feel like dream makes me want to go to nightmare, but it might be too on the nose. Remember some horrible dream about smothering.
And hey, Hollywood guy, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you.
I'm going to guess it's a Nightmare on Elm Street film, but I don't recognize the quote, so I'm going to say Freddy's Dead because that's a movie that I would not watch enough to know the quotes.
Okay, so
and I'm pretty sure it's wrong.
here's one twist to this.
Okay.
If you would like to, we can give you 3 times where you can ask the chat. You know, 3 times that you can, if you want. Now you don't have to. You can save it for some of the you know, the bigger point categories.
Do I lose points for guessing, or can I skip?
You don't lose points for guessing. Like if I put it up there and it's incorrect, you don't lose any points.
Gotcha. I'll stick with Freddy's Dead then. I'm not going to waste my lifelines just yet.
Okay. Freddy's Dead. Let's see.
Okay.
Alien.
Gotcha.
Alien. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So we're still at 200. It's okay. It's all right.
Let's do Movie Madness.
Movie Madness for 100. Between 1977 through 1989, name 4 horror remakes of old classics.
Oh, wow. Okay. The Thing. What other remakes? I'm sure there's a Dracula in there somewhere. Damn. Okay, so we're going to be remaking some classics. Man, this is a 100-point question. This one's rough. Not too many remakes I could think of that were previous to the 90s. Trying to think of black and white film. The Fly.
Okay.
Goldblum, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So I know I got 3. I don't know if Dracula was one.
Okay, so you're going with Invasion, The Fly, The Thing.
And let me think for a second, because I'm sure there was a version of Dracula, but black and white movies. The Blob.
Okay, let's see what the answer is. Hey!
Oh, hey, cool.
You got it. You got it.
That was the difficult part. I'm like, they had to be remaking black and white movies. So then I'm trying to like narrow down what's black and white. My brain kept going to Dracula and Psycho. And I'm like, no, that was in the 90s.
Right. Oh my God, that remake. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That was great, man. That was great. Good job. Good job.
Right.
Okay. What do we got next?
That was fun. Let me do 200 for Movie Madness.
Okay.
All right. Brain buster.
For 200. Yeah, the Movie Madness definitely is a bit challenging, as you can tell. So for 200, let's see what we have. Christopher Nolan film ranked 3rd place by its RT score.
Oh, wow.
Which film do you think is in 3rd place in his filmography?
If I'm not mistaken, Oppenheimer is number 1. The Dark Knight would be number 2. Damn. It's not Tenet. I know that. I'm going to say Dunkirk, but I'm not confident. That just seems like a movie that would get all the Rotten Tomatoes love.
Okay, Dunkirk. Let's see what the answer is.
Bitch.
Memento. But Dunkirk was a good guess. That was a good guess.
I didn't think Memento because it's so old. A lot of those movies that were before Rotten Tomatoes time have such weird scores because it's just fans that go in retroactively trying to manipulate numbers.
Yes.
So that was a tough one.
Yes. Yep. Very, very true. You're a Rotten Tomatoes critic, right?
Yep.
Yeah. How long have you been one? I remember
a little over a year.
Okay, alrighty. Do you have fun with it?
Not exactly. I kind of forget that it's there, and sometimes it's like, oh crap, yeah, I need to submit my thing on there. Rotten Tomatoes is complicated because I feel like there is a valuable use for it. I just feel like most people misuse it or misinterpret the information.
Okay.
Too many people look at the Rotten Tomatoes scores almost like it's a test grade. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, see, this movie got an 85%. That's a passing grade. And it's like, well, yeah, but if you dive into it, every critic gave it like a 3 out of 5. So it's, you know, there's so many different layers to it that I think most people don't understand, that it kind of gets misused. And I don't like the fact that it's kind of become the like the overarching authority of movies, where that's the first thing everybody goes to when the movie comes out. It's like, what's the Rotten Tomato score? Now they're printing them on the fucking Blu-ray box, and I can't stand that. I'm like, it should be a sticker. What are you doing? So yeah, I'm a part of the problem, I guess, but I have my issues with it.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, I appreciate the honesty about that. It's definitely challenging, because I was curious, because I you know, I obviously have followed you for a while, so I had followed you before you became, you know, an RT critic, and now that you are one, I've always wondered what that transition felt like for you, you know. So that's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's cool once in a while, like when you get to see something ahead of time, like Abigail, and you put your score in, and it like, you're one of the first ones, like you're a piece of the first score, and you see that number jump or that number drop significantly. But there's other negatives with it too, like when I reviewed the first Terrifier, which I'm like middle of the road on the first one, but I really liked the second one. So I saw that at a film festival when it debuted, and I put in a positive score and was really happy to like boost up an independent film. And then I simultaneously put in my score for the first Terrifier, and my review alone took it from a 61% fresh to a 59% rotten. And I was like, no, now they're going to hate me. I destroyed all that goodwill.
Oh man, hell yeah. Jeez. Yeah. Are you excited about Terrifier 3?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I had a really good time with the second one. I have all the faith that they're probably going to kind of keep the tone of the second one, and I'm curious to see how much bigger they get, because it's just like trying to fathom something more gruesome and wild than the second one makes your brain bust. So and being a Christmas film too, I'm curious how that's going to play into it.
Yeah, I'm curious too, man. I mean, Damien says that he wants to have the intensity of the second film, but kind of bring it back to basics a little bit more, like the first film being a little bit more focused. And supposedly they do have something that they said is topping both movies. And from what I understand, you know, for David, who plays Art, of course, there was a scene that that he got squeamish over, like he got a little sick over it. I'm like, oh my God, how bad could it be? Shit.
We'll find out.
I know. I'm pretty interested to see what they come up with. All right. So let's get back to here. And it looks like Wayne in the chat is killing it with some of these answers, man. So good for you, Wayne. Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff.
You Googled it, Wayne. Don't lie.
You know, I always say that to people, like, don't Google. Don't Google. All right.
Let me go bold. Let me do name that kill for 500.
Wow. All right. Let's go for it. 500. Never chase after a coin that falls in a swimming pool.
Night swim.
Night swim. We're going to go with night swim. Let's see if that is the correct answer.
Oh, okay.
The final destination, hunt, and being...
I can't be 100% confident, because a lot of that movie I've purposely just pushed back out of my brain to leave room for more important things. But I think there was a kill with a coin, so we might have a dual little answer. But that makes sense. The one where he gets,
it could be,
stuck on the little suction thing.
Oh my God, yeah, man, that was that kill was geez. And he got I won't even say it, but that was horrible, horrible. All right. What do we got next?
Franchise Fury for 300. We'll bounce around a little bit.
For 300. Boars, wheelchairs on fire, mind your manners.
This is Hannibal.
Let's see what we got. Hannibal Lecter. There you go, man. All right. You are all right, brother. You are all right. Okay. What next? We're going through these quick.
Yeah, let's do... we'll do Franchise Fury for 200. Let's clean up a category. We'll just stick here for a bit.
All right. For 200. The Gym, Fire Escape, Airbag, Hair Salon.
Final Destination?
Let's see.
There we go.
Yes.
There we
Yes.
go.
Yes. Nice. Okay.
Give me 400.
400. 23rd of March. Siblings. Screaming in the Dark.
Jeepers Creepers. Yeah.
Yes. He's cleaning up, folks. We're at 1200. Nice. Nice.
All right.
All right.
Let's wrap this up. 500.
All right.
Here we go.
Jester. Blade. Pinhead.
I shouldn't get this because I have not experienced the vast majority of this massively long franchise, but it's Puppet Master.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is, I'm not gonna lie, man. I was like, man, if Cody gets this, I'm like, he is truly the OG. Wow. That is
I had
awesome,
somebody
man.
request the original film back when I did Patreon requests.
Yeah.
And I suffered through it. I was like, nope. And then I had a buddy of mine that I worked with about maybe 3 years ago that gave me a DVD. He's like, you got to watch Puppet Master 2. And it was 2, 3, and 4, I think. And he's like, you got to watch these. I love them. I'm like, okay. And then I watched 2 and I said, nope, I'm out. And I looked and there's like 13 more. Like,
Yes.
no, I don't care how. You can't pay me.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Polar's like, dang, go Cody, right?
Yeah.
I know, man. He's definitely
Stake my
impressive.
claim.
That's right, man. And also, we got our other good buddy, Ginger Ninja, coming in all the way from Australia as well, saying, hey, hello. How's everyone doing? Hey, man, doing well. Hope you're doing well. Good to have you here as always, brother. Always good to have you here. And we got good old Scotty in the chat. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Ty is in the chat. You guys are all right. Very cool. Very cool to have you guys here. Sarah said, cleaning up franchise fury. Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. All right. Let's see what we got next.
All right. Let's do Name That Kill for 200.
Okay. In the pharmacy, you may be eaten from the inside by spider creatures.
Oh, wow. Pharmacy and spider creatures. Ooh. I'm stuck on spider creatures. What the hell is that? Keep thinking face huggers, and that's not right. I don't. Spider creatures. Oh, The Mist.
Let's see. Yes. Yes.
I was thinking It. I was thinking of that creepy pharmacy dude in It, and then my brain got stuck on Stephen King.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that guy in It. That's right. I didn't even think of him.
It's just
Nice.
water, Sonny. Like that one.
Yes, yes. All right.
Oh, the chat got it way before I did. Look at you guys. It was easy for them. I'm over here like spider creatures. I just saw 2 spider movies in the last week, so I'm like, my brain is all spider.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, these guys. Ty thought Scary Stories though. That's not a bad guess.
Yeah.
Julie got it. Paula, that's a good guess with A Quiet Place. I can see that. Yeah. Antonis said The Mist. Yeah, we had a whole bunch of people saying The Mist. You guys are with it. And also saying good night to Jen, saying I'm going to say good night and Joy. Thank you so much, Jen. We appreciate you being here. Yeah, have a good night. And Wayne is not playing around tonight. He knows what's going on. All right. Okay, we got a couple more left. We might be able to finish all these.
Oh, we're going to. I got to make my score something to beat. Give me 300 for Name That Kill.
All right. You ever play Skin the Cat?
Oh, Child's Play, man. Not the movie Child's Play. Hang on. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Wrong.
Hey,
No,
look, that would have been so funny because you're a Freddy guy, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I knew you'd get that one. That would have been funny. Like Child's Play, and I hit it like, oh, wait a minute. All right, nice. Okay, we're at 1,700.
All right. Give me 400. Let's clean it up.
All right. An allergic reaction to nuts leads to speeding and tragedy.
Hereditary.
Oh, there we go. Hereditary.
Dumbest Big Brother in the world.
Oh my God, man. Right?
Hang out with all these teenagers doing drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how quick did they bake that damn cake? Because they get to the party and she's chopping up the nuts and making the batter, and then the next scene she's eating a fully baked and frosted cake.
Right? Oh my gosh. But, you know, I will say this. That scene and the subsequent scene with Toni Collette, wow. I mean, you talk, at least to me, you talk about powerful, emotional, and intense without gore and without any, you know, jump scares, you know, a lot of the usual things that you would see in a horror movie. And the way it was shot, you know, him going to bed, and Alex Wolff was great in that role. His eyes, you could just see so much in his eyes. And then the next morning, they didn't even show you when she goes to the car, you know, but you hear the door open, and then that yell or that wail, bro. I'm telling you, man, that still gets to me even when I watch it. You know, it's like, wow. I mean, Toni Collette she was on another level as far as I'm concerned for acting. It was just wow.
Yeah,
crazy.
I don't often get too invested in like getting mad at the Oscars for ignoring horror. It just kind of feels like par for the course at this point. But that was one where it was like, wow, you guys really don't like us, do you? Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. And I know there's some folks, and we've talked about Hereditary here a couple times, and I know there's some folks that may not be as big on the movie in total, which is fine. You know, that's fair. But I just think her performance was just undeniable. You know, it really was. JS says that brother sucked.
Yeah,
he did. Oh man, Rob saying the scariest movie I've ever seen. Honestly, wow. Hey, that's interesting. All right. Let's see. Oh, I didn't add the 500 for the franchise Fury. Did I? Did I not?
I don't know. I didn't pay attention.
Huh.
I'll take an extra 500. I mean, I trust in their math skills. They're way better than me. I'm in the middle of answering these questions. So.
Oh my God, that's too funny. I didn't even notice that. It should be 26. Let me just take a look here. 26. So that's
what I got.
Huh.
Check the tape.
Right? Yeah, I thought I did. Well, let's do this. I'll make sure I keep track of it. So we're gonna boom 25, and I'm gonna make sure that we keep an extra 100 on top of your final score. All right. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Okay. We've only got a couple left, man. What's next? Oh, you still there?
Oh, I'm still here. I'm sorry. I was waiting for it to go on the screen. I can't see it.
Oh, okay. Jeez, my fault.
Sorry. I thought you were trying to pull it up.
No.
I was like, I don't know. I'll let you know when I know which ones I got then. All right, let's rip the Band-Aid off. We'll go quotables for 200. I think this is going to be my worst category, but we'll see.
Okay. 200. Once upon a time, there was a girl, and the girl had a shadow. The two were connected.
Why does this sound so familiar, and yet I can't think of what it is? There was a girl, and the girl had a shadow. The two were connected. Is it Us?
Let's find out.
Hey!
It is. All right. So we're up to, it says 27, but it's actually 2,800. We're rocking and rolling here. Okay, next up.
300
for quotables. Life is pain, Highness. Anyone who says differently is selling something.
Highness. That's throwing me way off. What is this? Life is pain, Highness. You say life is pain, and my brain gets stuck on the Long Kiss Goodnight, where the little girl is yelling at Gina Davis. She's like, "Life is pain. You just get used to it." That's all I can think of.
I haven't seen that in a while.
The only other franchise that I think pain is Hellraiser. Anyone who sells differently is selling something. Who the hell is Highness, though? I'm going to say Hellraiser 2, but it's a total guess, just because I know that's where they go into their little world.
Hellraiser 2. All right, let's see. The Princess Bride.
Makes sense. Never seen it. And now I've 3,000 people unsubscribe.
No. I'm sorry, man. Like 3,000 people unsubscribe.
That's one of those classics that every time it comes up, I'm like, oh, I got to admit that I've never seen it.
Hey, man, there are movies like that for all of us. Seriously. Like, for real. I will say this. It's a fun movie. Yeah. It really is. It's one of those movies that, like, seeing it when I was a kid and even seeing it today, like, I can still enjoy it. And it's got a great cast. If you like a movie that, I don't want to say it's like a feel good movie, but it's fun. It's cool if you ever get a chance to see it. Yeah, it's cool. All right. And hey, real quick, Mayan is working hard in the chat. Thank you so much, man. Gifting another channel membership out there to someone, which is so kind and so generous. We really appreciate that so much, man. And it looks like it went to good old Scotty. All right.
Right.
Okay. Very, very cool. Thank you so much, May. We really appreciate you. Much love. Much love. And let's see. We've got and Ty saying, have you seen the first Omen yet? Knight, have you seen the first Omen yet? I have. Check out my thoughts on it. I've got a review on it, and I know Cody does as well. I'll say this. I'm a huge fan of the franchise, and wow. That's all I'm going to say is wow.
That's all that needs to be said.
That's all. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Real quick, too, Sarah's coming in. Thank you so much for the super chat, Sarah. Much appreciated. Saying, I reviewed the tapes. We do need to add those 500 points. Flag on the play and all the other sports references. There you go. All right.
Rigged.
Very, very cool. Hey, you know what, Sarah? Thank you so much for the super chat. Let me play a clip just in honor of you doing that, and also just have some fun. Sometimes when you think of being the best, which Cody is showing he's the best so far. He is the inaugural contestant, but there's a term that we use here when you're the best, and this reminds me of what it is.
But the cream, yeah, let me say it here. Let me say it out loud. Yeah, you mean Gene Okerlund. You know that I'm the cream. I am the cream, yeah.
There you go. All right. Sarah, thank you so much for the super chat. That's funny. Oh, Lord. Okay. So.
400.
All right. Quotables for 400. I'm just here for the gasoline.
Oh, shit. There's so many horror films with gasoline.
Well, it could be horror or horror adjacent or regular. Mm-hmm. I will say that.
Okay. I'm just here for the gasoline. Is that Mad Max 2, perhaps?
Let's find out.
Oh,
Mad Max. Although,
points.
he does say that in every one, though, basically, because the gasoline is like...
Yeah, that's what I was stuck on. Usually Mad Max 2 is the for whatever reason, is the one that's stuck in my mind. I don't remember him hearing... I don't remember hearing him say that in the the fourth one, which is the other most popular one. So
Fury Road, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what though? We're gonna give you the points for that because
right.
Look, man, you're all right, man. Seriously, because you're going all over the place, different genres and different franchises and stuff that's from yesterday, today, tomorrow. No, I'm just joking, but good one. So we are at 3,200 so far.
All right. Let's wrap it up with 500.
All right. Fate whispers to the warrior, a storm is coming, and the warrior whispers back.
Oh, geez. Fate whispers to the warrior, a storm is coming, and the warrior whispers back. I'm not going to get this one. Warrior. It's not Terminator, but the fate and the storm coming is what I'm stuck on. That little quote that the movie ends on. I'm just going to say that for time's sake, but I know that's not it.
Do you want to use...
Oh, yeah. Let's do a lifeline.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. In the chat, we have you guys give your answer. Some of you guys have given your answer, and I'm just going to randomly pick someone in the chat and then see if they've got the correct answer. So keep giving your answers. I see a bunch of you have already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my phone and I'm just going to scroll. And once I stop, we'll see what you guys say. Hopefully it will be correct. So again, just to read out what the quote is fate whispers to the warrior, a storm is coming, and the warrior whispers back. Okay, so I'm going to scroll and we'll see what we get. Scroll.
Let me down, chat.
Scroll. I'm gonna stop. I'm stopping on Ivan Sanchez. I think you're new to the chat. Welcome to the chat. And he says Highlander. Ooh,
I can see that one. I haven't seen Highlander in a very long time. So
yeah, Christopher Lambert. Okay, let's see what we have for the answer.
Correct answer.
All right, here we go. Mission Impossible Fallout.
I would not have guessed that. Okay, that seems a little too poetic for old Tom Cruise.
Right?
Love that movie too. I don't remember.
Yeah, man. Well, that was in the beginning when they came to the door with the tape, and it was the way that they were basically identifying each other. The one guy says this quote, and at the end when the guy says, and the warrior whispers back, Tom Cruise says, "I am the storm."
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's how they identified him as Ethan Hunt.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. Tough one. And Ivan, thank you for throwing that out there. Highlander was a good guess. We've got a lot of guesses in here. We got Dream Warriors.
Ginger Ninja nailed it.
Did he? That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. He knows his movies. Sarah guessed it. Nice. Nice. Wow. Very cool. Ty said, "Not mine. I don't want that on my conscience."
Ivan, I'll never forgive you.
Right. Oh, man. And hey to the rest of you guys jumping in too. You guys are all right. Okay. All right. Movie Madness. We got 3 left.
We'll start with 300. We'll move up to the big one.
Okay. Name 5 Ridley
Ridley
Scott films.
Okay. Alien, Prometheus, Alien Covenant, Thelma and Louise, and Gladiator.
Wow. There we go. All right. Nice. Good job, man. Good job. All right.
400.
400. The Scream film that holds a 76% Rotten Tomatoes score.
Ooh. I'm going to say 5.
Okay, we're going with Scream 5. And you guys in the chat, you guys should know this. You guys are huge Scream fans. Throw those answers in there. Cody's going with Scream 5. Let's see what we got.
Oh, Scream and Scream
5
6. I'm surprised that 6 is that high, because that felt like people were way harder on that one than 5.
It did feel like that. It really did. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Because I thought the same thing too. We got Scream 2, we got Scream 5, we got Ivan saying Scream 3, Ty went with Scream 3, S went with 2, Chrissy went with 4, Melissa went with 3, Paula went with 3, JS went with 6. All right, that was a tough one though. That was a tough one. All right, we've got one more chance to get that score up there to 4,000. That would get you to 4,000. All right. 500. Game over, man. I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of time. So we have 2 clues. 2 clues so that you can guess this movie.
Aliens.
Okay, now this is what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you another guess.
Okay.
I'm going to give you another guess. So I'm basically telling you it's not aliens.
Yeah, I picked up on that.
But so these are two statements that will give you the answer to what film it is.
Okay.
So the first part of it is Game Over Man, and the second part is I'm not afraid of death, I'm afraid of time. So these are 2 statements made by 2 different actors that are in the name of the movie that you guess.
Okay. Not afraid of death. I'm afraid of time.
Mm-hmm. So that's one movie. You probably figured out the first movie.
Oh, so refresh me on the movie madness category. Is this like so this is a franchise that we're or this is the same movie but 2 different characters?
No, it's guessing a movie, but in this particular one, being that it's the 500-point one, these are 2 different quotes from 2 different movies.
Okay.
The 2 characters that say these quotes are in the name of the movie. That is the answer.
Are in the name of the movie.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Like for instance, I'll give you an example. Like if I said, let me just think for a second. Like if I said a quote from, and I know this is probably wrong, but this hopefully will give you an idea. Like if I said a quote from a Chris Evans movie,
mm-hmm.
and also a quote from a Chris Hemsworth movie, the answer would be Avengers. Now, granted, there's a bunch of Avengers movies, but you get what I'm saying? Like if it's a quote from one actor and a quote from another actor, and what movie are they both in together? If that makes any sense.
Okay. So somebody says Game Over Man, and they star in a completely different movie with the person that says I'm not afraid of death, and I'm trying to find the movie that they're joined up with.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm assuming Game Over Man, I was at least correct with Aliens, so that's Bill Paxton.
That's correct.
I'm not afraid of death, I'm afraid of time.
And there's some people in the chat that looks like they've guessed that part. So we got to figure out the movie that connects these 2 characters.
Okay.
This is actually fun, man. This is like detective work.
I'm telling you, my brain's going all over the place. Who the hell else? I'm stuck on that second one. I can't pinpoint. I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of time.
Mm-hmm. And I'll give you a clue. It's a director we've already referenced in this game,
mm-hmm.
who has a lot of good movies. They're not horror. This quote that you're trying to figure out is definitely not horror. It's more well, I don't even know if you would want to call it sci-fi adventure, but that probably be the closest thing I can think of.
It's either Ridley Scott or Nolan, and if it's sci-fi, I'm thinking Nolan. Not afraid of death, I'm afraid of time. That makes me think either Inception or Interstellar, and I know Inception pretty damn well. I don't remember that quote being in there. So if we're gonna go Interstellar, Bill Paxton. Oh, Frailty. Bill Paxton and Matthew McConaughey.
Let's see what we got. Hey,
Sherlock Holmes and got shit on me.
Oh, you worked for that, man. You worked.
I'm telling
for
you,
it.
I'm like time, death, like. Oh, okay. You had to help me along the way there. You had to give me quite a few hints, but we got there.
I'm a gracious kind of guy, man.
Yeah.
I like doing this. This was fun seeing you guys think it through, and that was a tough one. That was definitely a 500-point one.
It was. Game Over Man was really easy, but the other one, I'm like, what the hell? Where am I heard that from?
Yeah. We had some people in the chat. They were halfway there, Sarah, and this is one of Sarah's favorite movies here, Frailty. But she got the Interstellar. Some people saying Saw 6, Saw 2.
Yeah, the Game Over thing. When you said it wasn't aliens, I was like, does he say man at any point in Saw? I don't think he does. And so that was where my brain went there too.
Right. Ginger Ninja once again stepping through the curtain. He got it. He said, "Damn, that's a good one." Well, thank you so much, man. I worked on that. It was a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Good deal, man. So look, you definitely worked your ass off, and I'm sorry. Sarah says, "I'm so disappointed in myself. Frailty is my third favorite movie." It's okay, Sarah. It was tricky.
It was tricky. I love Frailty too, and it was not easy to get there.
Yeah. No, this was a tricky one. But man, you got 4,000 points, bro. That's pretty cool. Like
not too bad.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, when I was putting this together, I was thinking, man, we want to make it fun. We don't want to make it too challenging, but we want you to think a little bit. But seriously, man, and I kid you not, and obviously we're live, so this is not scripted, but you really killed it, man. You were going like all over, like a lot of different genres, covering a lot of different decades and so forth, man. That was a great job.
That was fun. I appreciate it. That was a good mix of fun and challenge, because some of them there I'm glad we didn't have like a ticking time. That would have killed me. But being able to think for a bit on some of them, I was like, okay, hang on.
Right. No, you did great, man. Good. Awesome stuff. Well, look, you guys in the chat, I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed this and had some fun. You guys had some great answers in there. We didn't get a chance to get to everyone's comment. Obviously that's difficult to do, but we appreciate you guys being here. Once again, if you haven't subscribed to Cody on YouTube or on Twitter or Instagram or Patreon, make sure you guys do that. We've had the links in the chat. We're going to have the links in the description. And also feel free, leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of this, what you thought of the game. Leave some comments for Cody. And, we can continue the conversation as a community. We really appreciate you guys being here. Julie, thank you so much, saying this was so much fun. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. That was above anything else. That was the thing I was hoping for the most. And, I'm glad that there was some fun to be had. Yeah, very, very cool. And Ty, thank you so much. Good game night. You always have interesting ideas with this and the versus battles. Yeah, I have a couple good ideas. I have a couple. That's the fun of doing this when you're just talking about movies. You love it, So I love talking about movies. And there we got the links. Thank you, ladies, so much. All of our moderators here tonight. Thank you guys so much for helping out, putting the links in there and being supportive of us. Much appreciated. Yeah. Julie says, now I need to go rewatch Cody's Madam Web video. Go do it, man. It's a lot of fun. Alrighty, well, Cody, we're going to get ready to sign off here. If you could just hang on once we sign off for just a minute backstage, and then I'll say my actual goodbyes to you. But I just want to say, man, seriously, thank you so much for being here. We went a little bit longer than I thought we would, and I know it's been a long week for you, but all seriousness, man, anytime that I watch your videos and have followed you over this amount of time, which has been a couple of years, you've always just seemed so down to earth and just a real passion for film. And it shows that you're just so passionate, and you just have such a good connection with the community. and it's real, you know, and that's an awesome thing to see. So thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here tonight. I really appreciate it, and I know these folks here do as well.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate the invite. It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see if we can do something down the road, and who knows, maybe have a little bit of a tournament with you guys that are doing this. So that'll be fun, right? I know, Mr. 4000. Very cool. All right. So for you guys in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us. We really appreciate you so much. We hope you have a good weekend, and we will catch you guys later. And as always, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace out, guys. Catch you later.